What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another amazing episode of Bleeding BnG. And the reason why I say it's an amazing episode is because the vibes are at an all-time high, coming off of another win, another molly-whopping of a professional NFL franchise, because we damn near eviscerated the Cleveland Browns in a similar fashion that we did to the Arizona Cardinals last week. But before we get too deep into our game analysis today, be sure to comment, be sure to like, and be sure to subscribe. On the road to 2,000 subscribers, and I can't do it without you guys. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button while the vibes is at an all-time high. While you feeling good, while Washington is one of the best teams in the NFL, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we're going to keep pushing this content out. And without further ado, man, let's get into this episode. To give you a timestamp, as I do for all of my episodes, it's about 11 p.m. on Sunday, October the 6th, 2024, and the Commanders are about 7 hours removed from taking the Cleveland Browns behind the woodshed and beating the fuck out of them. I asked a couple of weeks ago, is this our new reality? And it's starting to seem like it. It's starting to seem like our new reality is dominating NFL teams and being a dominant NFL franchise ourselves. And I'm so not used to this in my 28, soon to be 29 years of being a Washington Commander football team Redskin fan. It's almost like I don't know how to act. I don't know how to respond to it. Because this is almost like seeming as if like it's inevitable at this point. And I don't want to get too far in front of my skis, but like the sample size just keeps getting larger and larger, and like the wins keep stacking, right? And I just keep getting new data points to tell me that this is the best team in the NFL right now. No, that's not exaggeration. No, that's not hyperbole. I truly believe that this is the best team in the NFL. And I've never been able to say that with a straight face in my lifetime of being a fan. That was amazing to say. And I wholeheartedly believe that. If you want to give me the Minnesota Vikings, I'll hear you out. But give me a JD5 over a Sam Darnold any fucking day of the week. My quarterback don't be seeing ghosts out there. Excuse me. And before I get too carried away, let's really get into this game, man. Because you know your boy was boots on the ground, like we are at every home game, to watch our Washington Commanders dominate the Cleveland Browns 34-13, winning in dominant fashion once again. Just like they did last week. We not only beating teams, we're dominating teams. We're putting teams away in the first half. I don't want to hear that this is like 2012 anymore, because we didn't get that shit in 2012. We weren't dominating teams like this. We had to go on another miracle run in the end of the season, just like we did in 2007, just like we did in 2005. And I think those are the only 3 seasons that we've been nice in my lifetime. And we've had to go on a miracle run at the end of the season in each of those years. So this is different. This does feel different. This doesn't feel like a Mickey Mouse win streak of the past like Ron Rivera had in 2022. And let's get into this game, man. Because like I said, we took the Browns behind the woodshed and we beat the Brown off them boys. We really beat the Brown off them boys. We beat the Brown out of them boys. No matter which way you want to slice it. Like Jim Brown was rolling over in his grave today watching that performance. And I totally get it. And let's start with the franchise, the Golden Boy. And I've stopped saying presumed to be franchise because he's shown us everything that we need to see throughout his first 5 games of his NFL career, being the only quarterback in the NFL, in NFL history through 5 games to have over 1,000 passing yards and 250 yards rushing. And I think he has about 300 yards just to, put the cherry on the top for good measure. Excuse me. But, we talking about JD5. You see the jersey. It's a reason why I left work early this week to go cop that jersey when I heard that there were a limited amount at the team store. Yeah, hit my boss with the deuces. I'll see y'all later. I got to go cop a JD5 jersey. I got to go get a jersey for my GOAT. And guess what? You want to call it glazing, you want to call it fanboy, you want to call it stan, call it whatever you want. Because I ain't never been able to experience this in my life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can call me whatever you want. All Diddy. All Diddy. Because the Washington Commanders are forced to be reckoned with in the NFL in the 2024 season. But let's get into Jalen Daniels. Like I said, 14 of 25, 238 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception, and 82 rushing yards. So while he still had over 300 all-purpose yards, this was probably, and I'll admit it, this was probably Jaden's worst game since the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in his career debut and things of that nature. And while the numbers weren't gaudy, especially if you look at that completion percentage, which has been all the rave and all the fed that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, you've seen his completion percentage put him in the likes of, with names like Tom Brady, right? Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, right? And with all those guys slower than me, right? You pair that with a guy with like 4.3 speed, and this is the reason why I've been talking crazy. This is the reason why I said that we got the best quarterback in the NFL, and I don't care that he's a rookie. This is the reason why I said that he needs to be in the MVP race. He's giving you Tom Brady, Drew Brees, like passing statistics, and he got Michael Vick legs. Like, what the fuck? How is he not the one? And while the numbers weren't gaudy today, and while he hasn't had that amazing completion percentage that he's had throughout his first 5 games of the season, I want you to focus on the yards per completion today. 14 completions that went for 238 yards. That's a lot of yards per completion. And I said it in the offseason, and I'll say it now. Jalen Daniels does not have to play a perfect game. While I would love for him to play a perfect game, and while we've seen damn near close to a perfect game in his first 5 career games, we've seen him be damn near close to perfect. He does not have to play a perfect game for you to win a football game. And let me tell you why. And I said it in the offseason. I'm going to double down on it, and I'm going to tell you why now. He is such an elite talent. He is so talented that he has the capability of turning a football game on his head with only 5 plays. Like, he could be playing such a shitty game that he could turn a game on his head like that. And I might be highballing it with the 5 number. He could change a game on his head within 3 plays. He's that type of talent. And when you have that type of dynamicism at the quarterback position, you're going to be in every game. And you're going to dominate some of them like we've done in the last 2 weeks. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Like I said, Jalen Daniels didn't play an amazing game. This isn't a Jalen Daniels Glaze episode by any means. But here are a few examples of what I mean by just a couple of flash plays to turn the game on its head. In the first quarter, rolling out to the right on 3rd down, Cleveland running that bullshit cover 0 that they've been sending, trying to scare us. All I've heard all week was how Jim Shorts was a sensei at confusing young quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks. Well, he ain't met fucking Jalen Daniels. He hadn't met fucking Jalen Daniels. He ran that bullshit cover 0 on 3rd down. You know what Jalen Daniels did? Rolled out to the right, 60 yards over the air. 60 yards hitting Terry McLaurin with a ball in the air that travels 60 yards in the air. On a damn dot, a damn mustard seed, a damn drop in the bucket. You're not going to see a better throw than that all week. And you know we boots on the ground at what? It's Northwest Stadium now. You know we boots on the ground. And that's the same type of throw that I saw from Josh Allen last year when he hit Stephon Diggs on a similar type rollout that was the same part of the field. And that's when I was like, yeah. And that's what told me last season, like, yeah, we can't compete with the elites. We ain't got that. Sam Howell wasn't doing that. Well, guess what? Fucking Jaden Daniels, JD5, the dude whose jersey I'm wearing today for my audio-only family, he was doing that. That's what I mean by turning the game on its head. And while we didn't get points on that drive, because Terry McLaurin got tackled by a goddamn shoestring, I would love to see Terry McLaurin get in the end zone on there, but we're not going to harp on it too much because, you know, we still beat the shit out of him. The vibes is high. We ain't going to be negative Nancy's and Debbie Downers over here when the vibes is high. You can't knock too much when you beat the shit out of a team 34-13. And while we ended that drive with a Jalen Daniels, a red zone interception that was so unlike him, I love the fact that he was able to bounce back and have a couple of more splash plays that was able to turn this game on his head. Like the 41-yard bomb to De'Ami Brown right before halftime that allowed you to double dip. Did y'all realize there were like 3 possessions in a minute and a half right before halftime because we kept scoring so fast and the defense stopped Cleveland on the 3 and out? Elite clock management, but these are the things that you can do with an elite quarterback talent. I talked about the deep shot to Terry. I talked about the deep shot to De'Ami. And let's talk about some of those soul-crushing scrambles. Those are your 5 plays right there that turned this football game on its head. This is what Dan Quinn meant. I forgot who the draft pundit was when they said that Dan Quinn, when he was talking about Jalen Daniels, said that he'll suck the soul right out of your defense. And today was no better example than that. Jim Schwartz and the Cleveland Browns running this bullshit, ags some and ass, cover 0, cover 1, double A-gap mug, blitz and shit like that. Trying to have my man looking like a deer in the headlights. And guess what? He proceeded to act like he's been there before. And he proceeded to drag his nuts on the Cleveland Brown defense. And what I mean by drag his nuts, there's no better example than that De'Ami Brown shot. Because it was revealed later in the press conference and things like that he called his shot. And if you look at the TV copy, I think it was Ryan Fowler that actually picked up on this during live, during the in-game action, is that, right before the deep shot, he had ran out of bounds right on our sideline. And he had looked over the cliff and said, hey, man, let's take a shot here. And he called his shot and threw a beauty of a pass to De'Ami Brown. That's what elite quarterback play looks like. But enough with Jalen Daniels, because guess what? It was more than just Jalen Daniels today. Today was a full team effort. Let's get into these running backs, man. These running backs are ridiculous. And I think we might have the best running back core in the entire NFL. It started out as a running back duo with Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson, but Jeremy McNichols has had a say in that over the last couple of weeks. Jeremy McNichols has had a motherfucking say in that. This is a running back triplet room right now. We're a 3-headed monster right now. And you give Jeremy McNichols, 2 touchdowns last week, and you know what he does in return? Knock a motherfucking face off on kickoff coverage today. That's what happens when you let your players know that they're valuable. When it's that next man up mentality. Because I promise you, just because of what we did with Jeremy McNichols last week, feeding him and getting him his 2 touchdowns, he's going to be balls to the wall for the rest of the season. He showed me that today. And let's get into Austin Mighty Mouse Eckler. It was so glad to have you back, my boy. It was so glad to have you back. I've been saying it all season, and I'll say it again. He's the best player on the team with the ball in his hands, even at the ripe old age of 29. If you see the cuts that he makes, I haven't seen cutting like that since Clinton Portis from a running back in Washington. You see the cut he made on 4th and 2, damn near breaking Devin Bush down to his fucking knees, getting the first down, which wouldn't have been a first down if he didn't make that move. Then you see the cut he makes cutting back inside on that long run in the second quarter, which was a beautiful run. The blocking was blocked up. The only thing that would have made that run better is if Austin Eckler took that to the house. And where's the Austin Eckler's Wash Hive crowd that I heard all offseason, all preseason? They've been quiet all year. They've been quiet all throughout these first 4 games that he's played. And the closest thing that I've seen to Austin Eckler look at Wash is him being run down on that run today. But guess what? I'll take that with a 60-yard game. I'll take that every time. Every day of the week. Austin Eckler with another, if you include, his kickoff return yardage, and why wouldn't you? He had another over 100-yard all-purpose game. Excuse me, it was a tongue twister. It took a while to get that one out, but we did. If you include the kickoff return yardage, he had over 100 yards all-purpose for another game. And I'm over here glazing Austin Eckler, and Brian Robinson had 2 touchdowns. He was still able to get off before he was sitting in the second half. And I'll be sure to keep an eye on that because I know he was on the injury report going into this game. And I don't know if he missed most of the second half because we were beating the shit out of the Browns or because he got hurt again. So be sure to keep an eye out on that this week. But the offense is doing the damn thing. And the thing that I like about today is that we faced challenges. It wasn't as easy as it's been against the Cincinnati Bengals and the Arizona Cardinals. We had to get it out the mud. That horizontal passing scheme wasn't working against, the Cleveland Browns, who have real speed sideline to sideline in their front seven. But Cliff Kingsbury and Jalen Daniels stuck with it. And we got a supporting cast that's able to, that Jaden's able to elevate their play into damn near elite status. Get into the wide receivers. Terry McLaurin damn near looked like a number 1 today. An elite number 1. Now, he always looks like a number 1. But Terry McLaurin damn near looked top 10 today. Beating an elite corner, Denzel Ward, all over the field for 112 yards. And the only reason I say damn near is because he did drop a touchdown. And he did have a fumble that resulted in, the Cleveland Browns getting 3 points. So he did cost us 9 points at the end of the day. But Terry McLaurin has heard the tweets. He's probably watched a couple of BnG episodes. And he's balled out over the course of the last 3 games. Looking like a young Terry McLaurin. Looking like 2019 Terry McLaurin. The way that he's taking the top off the defense. We got a De'Ami Brown trademark deep shot. He did more than just run around today. Stepped up in Noah Brown's absence. And Luke McCaffrey is a fucking savage. Luke McCaffrey might be one of my favorite players on the team. Go look at him blocking his motherfucking face off on Brian Robinson's first touchdown run. Looking like every bit of Mike Allstott. Looking like his damn daddy out there. Looking like he was blocking for Big Bro in the backyard. And then the way he attacked the ball on that third down throw that Jalen Daniels had in the second half, something that we needed. The offense was looking a little bit out of rhythm. We got behind the sticks. And Jalen didn't necessarily make the greatest pass, but Luke was able to fight through the DB, show that 6'2", 215-pound frame, and attack the ball and get the first down. Like, this is what team football looks like. There's a reason why Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson isn't on his team anymore. I saw a stat today that said they combined for 14 catches and 79 yards over the course of this season. And I have a hard time thinking either of those guys have been able to crack this rotation and play with this type of physicality and this type of vigor that we've been playing on the offensive side of the ball. And when I mean physicality, I mean it. Like the offensive line, I know they allowed 3 sacks today. That's going to come when you go against a front as good as the Cleveland Browns, who have fucking Myles Garrett, who's built like a goddamn Decepticon, and Zadarius Smith. Like, they got some goddamn dogs on the front, and they get paid too. But you know what our offensive line did? Move them boys in the run game. Push them boys downhill in the run game. Put their face in the fucking dirt in the run game. That's why we were able to run for 200 yards again for a second consecutive week. That's why we were able to have 3 rushing touchdowns for the third week in the third consecutive week. When have you heard that in Washington? There's been years that we might not have scored 3 touchdowns in 3 weeks total. Now we can pick and choose what type of way we want to score. We got 3 rushing touchdowns in 3 consecutive weeks. And it ain't like we got to rely on a run. Because Jalen Daniels' passing touchdown numbers should be much more higher. I've never seen the amount of guys that get clipped up inside the 5-yard line off of Jalen Daniels' passes out of anybody else in NFL history. It happened with Terry McLaurin again today. Think about Luke McCaffrey in the Cincinnati Bengals game. Think about the couple of stops that we got stopped short against the New York Giants. Jalen Daniels honestly should have about 9 passing touchdowns right now. And that's why I need Terry McLaurin to catch that ball as well. Because guess what? Not only do we have a Rookie of the Year stat line we need to boost, we got an MVP candidate stat line that we need to boost. For sure. For sure. Let's get into this defense who played balls to the fucking wall for the second week in a row. What the fuck has gotten into this defense? I told you, I think that Joe Witt Jr., with his cross-eyed ass, he found the good foot and the good eye and stuck a foot up somebody's ass. I don't know who it was. It might have been Frankie Louvu. Because let me tell you, Frankie Louvu played one of the best games that I've seen from a Washington linebacker since London Fletcher. 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, a fumble recovery that we're going to call an interception just because it looked like that. Just because it looked like that. And he was just all over the fucking field. Playing like he was injected with the likes of Troy Polamalu, Hufanga over there, and with the San Francisco, Mayake Kimio-Atu. Shout out to all my OG Redskin fans. Like he was injected with every Samoan that played NFL football today. Anthony Munoz, is he Samoan? I don't want to be disrespectful. I think he might be Mexican. I think he might be Spanish. But you get the point. You get the point. Frankie Louvu played like a fucking menace today. And he was flying to the ball so much, it made Bobby Wagner want to fly to the ball with his old ass too. I told y'all this in the offseason. We don't even need to have amazing linebacker play. All we need is adequate linebacker play, and it's going to be a complete 180 from what we've had in the last 3 or 4 years as a Washington Commander fan. But we got amazing linebacker play today, and look what it does with the rest of this defense. John Allen definitely read the tweets. He might have been watching a couple Bleeding BnG episodes as well, because he played balls to the wall today. I love the play that he had on our second defensive drive, defending that screen, getting the Cleveland Browns behind the sticks. And yes, Deshaun Watson is ass. Deshaun Watson is dog shit. Deshaun Watson is probably the worst quarterback in the NFL. And you can tell he quit on them boys today. There were so many places that he'll rather be than Northwest Stadium today. Probably at a massage parlor or something, but that's for another day. But that defense did that to Deshaun Watson today. That defense broke Deshaun Watson today. It's a reason why he walked off the field and he wanted no mas. No mas. No mas. No mas. In that fourth down. In the fourth quarter. He knew that they ain't stand a fucking chance. He out there wondering why Kevin Stefanski out there wasting his time when he already done got his bag. But that defense did that today. Dorrance Armstrong with another sack. Dante Fowler rushing his fucking face off. I even like what I saw from Dante Fowler in run support today, and I didn't think we were going to get an inkling of that this season. It's contagious. When you see Frankie Louvu flying around, it's contagious. It's gonna make Dante Fowler want to defend the run. And his secondary is holding up. And while Deshaun Watson is ass going into the game, I thought that, we were going to have a little struggle with the Browns. Because Jerry Jeudy's having a pretty good season. And, Amari Cooper is noted to be a Commanders, Redskins football team killer. Boy, were you shitting me. Because Amari Cooper is washed. I'm sorry to tell y'all that. The last time I was at FedEx Field, Northwest Stadium, I saw Amari Cooper go for 3 touchdowns on us? And that was technically in 2023. So that was technically last year. Boy, has that nigga grown old. Boy, has that nigga aged quick over the last 18 months. He out there moving like me. And while I want to big up the secondary, because guess what? They've played way better than they did in their first 2 weeks and things of that nature. I'll be remiss if I didn't mention that Amari Cooper was out there looking like he was running in quicksand. I think that I could get Amari Cooper in the 40 today. Jerry Jeudy dropping the only good pass that Deshaun Watson made. Like, the Browns are in flux. But we did that. We did that. I'm tired of it. And I know it comes with being a Washington fan. And I know y'all not used to us being this nice. I get it. I know exactly where this is coming from. Because y'all not used to us being this nice. But that don't mean that y'all got to make an excuse for every team that we beat the shit out of. First it was all the Cardinals. Oh, no. First it was all the Bengals. They always start slow. They ain't never started 0-3. We did that to them. Then it was the Cardinals ain't really that good. They really ain't nobody. They beat the shit out of the 49ers today. Then it was all the Browns mid, all Deshaun Watson sucks. But before the game, y'all were talking about how real that defense was, how this was going to be the first test that Jalen Daniels really had to face in his NFL career. Well, guess what? He looked that motherfucking test in the eye and dragged his nuts on it. And to wrap up this episode, man, it was a full team effort, man. And this is really why I think that we have one of the best teams in the NFL. Because we're getting contributions from all three units. Austin Seibert hasn't missed a field goal this year. How the hell was he on the street in September? How the hell did we start an NFL season and Austin Seibert wasn't on the roster? I've gotten into the offense. I've gotten into the defense. I told you the secondary played well today. I think Mikey Saverstill is holding up well on the outside. Laid a big hit on Deshaun Watson's bitch ass. He needed another massage after that. That's why he got mad and pushed Mikey. He was mad he couldn't get his massage in. I think Mikey's instincts are helping him out on the outside. I do think that he's still a little bit limited physically and athletically. So interesting to see how long he holds up on the outside. But yeah, man, we like that. We OC. And I think that I might have to start looking for Super Bowl tickets. I think I might have to book me a flight for New Orleans in February. But that'll do it for this episode of Bleeding BnG, man. The vibes is high, as always. If you're not following us on social media, go ahead and do that. Because what are you doing? Our Instagram is at BleedingBnG, BLEEDING, BnG. Our X, our Twitter handle is spelled a tad bit different. That one's at BleedingBnG, BLEEDIN. BnG, so there's only one G in our X, our Twitter handle. If you're listening to us on audio-only platforms such as Spotify, such as Apple Podcasts, please be sure to leave a rating. Please be sure to leave a review. That's how we finesse these algorithms so that when you're searching anything Washington Commanders, you get Bleeding BnG number one on your content hub, or number one in your search bar, that number one content hub on your search bar. Because you come to us for the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis on your Washington Commanders, and I hope I gave you guys that today. I'll check in on you guys later. Reaction video dropping tomorrow. Stay tapped into the page because we nice. And yeah, vibes is high.